this video, I'm going to show you how to build a duplex MMDVM hotspot using a C4 Labs 3.5-inch Nextion case on a Raspberry Pi 3.3B Plus and an AURSINC MMDVM Duplex Hat and the C4 Labs case, and we're going to build one of these. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it, seeing as how there is really no good information on the internet for putting one of these things together, imaging it with Pi-Star, soldering the Nextion screen to the board, and flashing the duplex Pi hat modem, flashing your duplex modem, flashing, installing the drivers for your Nextion, imaging your Nextion. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen, and in order to figure it out, you got to watch about 15 YouTube videos and dig around on the internet for all the information and try to put it all together, and it's a real hassle. It literally took me, I think, 7 or 8 hours of just beating myself over the head to put this thing together, and I still didn't have the drivers installed for the Nextion screen that I was using. So we'll show you guys how to do all that stuff in this video, and go ahead and get at it here. First thing we want to do is put an image on this Nextion screen. Now, these Nextions come with a full harness and a power head that allows you to connect it to the Raspberry Pi and turn it on. In order to get this all to fit in the case, you actually have to cut this cable and solder it to the AURSINC board. This is our modem, and there's a Nextion head here that we're going to go ahead and solder this to. Now, if you cut this lead off, then this has to be plugged into the motherboard before you can power this up and put an image on your Nextion screen. These Nextion screens are actually really something else. Essentially, this Nextion screen, where is it? That's this one here. Okay. This is like a little computer, and it has its own RAM, onboard RAM, where it stores the image, the layout. And so basically there's a bunch of different layouts that you can download and image onto the Nextion. And we're going to go ahead and do that first. So we're going to power up our board, we're going to plug this into it, and we're going to put an image on this, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is download a screen image for our Nextion for a duplex MMDVM modem. And a gentleman by the name of Rob Van Reenen makes some really nice screens. And so we're going to download one of his screens that he's made for free for everybody. And as a matter of fact, he's the one that sort of inspired me to make this video. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get that screen from Rob. We're going to go to github.com/pd0dib. Ham radio screens, the Model 10 series for duplex repeaters, and it's the 10 3.5-inch Duplex Enhanced. We've got the enhanced screen. So we're going to get this, we're going to download it, and then we're going to save it into our ham radio folder in our documents file that we've created already. So you guys might need to make a folder to store this or to copy this file into, or you can do it right out of your downloads. So let's see here, show in folder. Here's the screen. We're going to cut this out of here. I'm going to go to our documents, ham radio, and HMI files, paste it in there. Okay, now what we need to do is download the Nextion editor. We'll go ahead and do an exe download so we can install it straight from. As you can see, I've downloaded this once before just so I knew what I was doing. I've already installed mine, but once this downloads, click on your exe, it'll run me through the installation wizard, and it will install. Alright guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to put this this Nextion image onto a micro SD card. And your micro SD card must be formatted to FAT32. So we'll go ahead and open the Nextion editor. And we'll go ahead and open the image that we need. That's our Model 10 3.5-inch Duplex Enhanced. And you guys may need to navigate to the folder where you downloaded it. It's in your downloads, or if you put it into a folder to hang on to it, like I did. But either way, you're going to load this into the editor software. Gives you a preview of the screens over here. And what we need to do now is go up to File, TFT File Output, select the drive that your micro SD card is in, which is my F drive, and hit Output. And it will copy the image onto your block or to your micro SD card. And then I'll show you how to get the image onto your Nextion screen. Okay, so what we've done is we've connected the power cords. Red is positive, black is negative. The card has a positive here and a negative here. On the head here, it shows you that your ground is the black, your receive is the yellow, your transmit is the blue, and 5 volts is the red. So we've got this thing connected to power, and we can power it up with a typical mini USB. Now that we've put the image on our card, we've got the card in the Nextion. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So here's a card reader. You put your card into your card reader slot here. Okay. And we power this thing up. And it should work. Let's see here what this does now. We power it up. SD card update. All right, it's copying off our SD card. And 90%. Okay, boom, update succeeded. Go ahead and power it down. Now we have to take the card out because if there's a card in here, it's going to run an update. So we pull the card out. Let's power it up one more time. See if we get our Nextion screen proper Nextion screen here. Okay. Beautiful. That's the first page that we would see. All right. It is time to start this build. We've got the image on our Nextion screen. And so now we're going to go ahead and start building our hotspot. We're going to build one of these. Dustin Hartland, founder of 4C or C4 Labs. Guys making some pretty nice stuff here. C4 Labs, man. I tell you what, these guys really got their stuff together. I think they make the coolest cases out there. This is the installation instructions, which basically is the full stack of your hardware here. Hardware comes with some heat sinks, a couple of different profiles for depending upon which Raspberry Pi you have. These are a couple of different port side pieces. And then you have your whole kit and caboodle sitting here. Looks like this is the bottom and this is the top. So we'll go ahead and pull the rubber band off of this bad boy. And get working on it. Let's see. Peel off the paper of each part. Optionally wet the paper with warm water to make it easier to peel. We're going to start with this bottom piece. I guess we can take these and just turn them upside down. Set them down. Make sure they're still in the... Yeah, okay, good. All right. So starting with our first piece. Like so. Take our 4 screws. You know, it might actually be smart to do here. That's good. I'm going to grab it like so. 4 of these longer ones, 2 of the shorter ones. Now, this black piece here, take off the paper. It's probably going to go face down like so. Remove this here. Okay. Put it in here. Let's do this. Constant stuff up. Got some of the junk there. I'm going to put stuff between there. My OCD will drive me nuts. That's not visible, so you don't have to clean that. For this little guy, line up these posts. As it goes down, they need to be nice and straight. And 5. Now I'm going to put a heat sink on. One of these heat sinks fits in the bottom square and one of them doesn't. So let's just see which one fits and which one doesn't. Big guy fit in there? Yeah, the big guy doesn't fit in there. So, does this fit on here? Instead of a Pimoni fan shim, I'm just going to use one of these. This is a smaller one. Where does this one go? See, they don't really tell you where these go. You just kind of like figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? The thing sit up on top of there like so, maybe. Or maybe this goes on one of these little chips. Wonder when which one gets hot. All right, we are gonna do this one though. We're gonna put this one in there. A tiny bit of rubbing alcohol here. Just bend it up against there and twist to get as much of that off as possible. We just want a little bit of rubbing alcohol right on the surface of this bad boy here. I'll watch it evaporate. And just clean it and dry it a little bit more off of there. Hit the dry side. Alright. That'll stick real good now. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby. Not perfect, but not too shabby. All right. It has to fit behind there. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. No, they are. Okay. So that one, and now the guy with the corner, the dude with the corner junk guy goes in there. This little corner nubbin. And the next one of these. It's the final capture on this clear guy. Cool, that locks that in place. All right, now this next step requires the Dremel, because what's going to happen here is we're going to solder. I'm going to grab myself out here. We're going to solder this lead. Wait, this is a Nextion screen. That's not what I want. This is what we want right here. No, that's not what we want. That's not what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want right here. This is the modem. A multi-mode digital voice modem. MMDVM. I think I'm pretty well grounded out at this point. Grab this thing. I always grab these things by the side so I'm not touching the circuitry as much as possible. So what we're going to do here is this guy's going to be sitting in here like so. And there's a Nextion. I'll use this little pointing thing right here. There's 3 heads for an OLED, a stink screen, and a LX or an NXT, a Nextion screen. And this Nextion has the 4 ports, just like the 4 wires that we're going to be soldering in. And it tells us what they are, which is nice. On the screen here, on this modem here, you can read here that it's got a 5-volt, a send, a receive, and a ground post, which are the same that the Nextion screen has, and these are color coded, and we're going to solder them in from the bottom. So this harness is going to be extending out. We can't solder it in from the top because the Nextion screen sits down really tight on top of this. So these have to be soldered in underneath, and you don't want this long wire jumbled up down inside there. You want airflow through there as best as possible. So we're going to cut these as short as we can get them to where it can still come up through and connect to the Nextion and still solder on. But what that means is that they will be extending out of the bottom of this, and this is going to be laying right on top of here. And so here's what I got to do is I got to actually hold this sucker down. I don't want to do it with my damn hands. short circuit the darn thing. But you can see that where those Nextion posts at, they're going to be underneath this plastic thing. What we're going to do is we'll mark it out here in just a minute, but we get all this paper taken off. We'll mark out where we need to grind out this on this little shelf so that we have clearance for our wires to come through. And then we'll go ahead and grind that out with a Dremel tool and a little sanding drum. So let's go ahead and get that going. Let's get this paper off of here. And mark this out right here. All right. That'll do it. That will. All right. Let me show you what I did. I got jiggy with it. I don't think that's going to be on our way anymore. Okay. The transmit goes to the receive, and the receive goes to the transmit. So on the Nextion, the blue transmit wire gets soldered to the receive post on the modem, and the yellow receive cable gets soldered to the transmit on the board. So that means cut each one a little bit longer. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. We'll be in good shape. Okay, now we're going to do this job. Shaking like a freaking leaf on a tree, bro. Son of a bitch. How are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do this? Just nice and easy in there. There. That's getting there. Nice and easy in there. Get jerky. Alright, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Alright, let's just see if that's holding. Yeah, nice. Nice. Next one is the blue one. Probably should have tinned these damn things. It's fine, it's hanging, it's holding. Bending it in the wrong direction, but it's okay, we'll bend it back. We'll bend it back. Alright. Little bit, just a little bit. I just turn it around like that, dude. Then yellow. I want you guys to go see what I'm doing. Hell, I can't even see what I'm doing. Alright, that sucker's on there. And then babe? What you doing? This soldering iron's real hot, so don't touch it.
Okay. They're both right there.
I just been propping it into the place where it stays. That's all I'm doing.
Oh. It's loaded.
One more to do. Don't jack it up. Alright, okay. Ah, I think it's on there.
Whoa, that is a red light.
Very good. Very good. That's what, okay, let me do this. I'll turn this off now. Okay, we're good on that. Good on this now. So, cool. All right, guys. So that, where is it? Here we go. There we go. There's your red, your blue. Yep, blue transmit, and that's the receive. The yellow is soldered here.
Whoa.
And the ground is soldered right into there. You got them sort of tapered in. And all you really need is for this baby to be able to come up and around. Now we're going to be very delicate with this because we don't want to rip these soldering joints off. But that's the Nextion screen soldered to the board.
Mama, how's your daddy? Hey.
Okay, so now we've got our MMDVM board all soldered up. We're going to go ahead and install it. This pops right down on here. Whoop, down there. Here we go. Now let's just make sure that it's coming down and out. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Remember, these are crossed. Okay, where are we at next? So we've got these guys in there. We put the board in. Now we put the little washers on there. The spacers, the standoffs. What this does is it creates a gap, it creates an air gap in there so that we can get some ventilation in. Think. And that's what all I can really imagine. It creates a little air flow. Okay. Let's see, let's put our glasses back on. Let's see what the hell we're doing. Alright. And now it's the clear plastic. Notice I captured that as I put it on. Alright. Alright, that's great. That's really nice, really nice. Now, the next one is flipping the sheet over. Going on to step 13, which is the base for the MMDVM, for the Nextion. This one's got paper, so we're going to tear the paper. Yeah, this big up just like that. this last one goes on. Actually, it tells you to put this one on first and then screw the screw holes in, but these actually recess down inside here. And so I find that it's a little easier to screw these in before we drop them into there. And let's see if we can't get these guys to go in there. Okay, so those are in now. They don't go in very far, they just barely thread in. But they hold everything together while we're doing this last section here, which is to say placing this piece in. And this baby goes on like this, with this radius side matching up with that hole there. Sick. We're getting close to putting the Nextion on it. Remember, we imaged that. Okay. I guess that's this step. We take this baby, we plug it right in here. Oops, looks like we're gonna have to give it a twist. In that. Oh no, we're not gonna have to give it a twist. No, we'll just do it like this. Put this baby in here like so. Yeah, I guess we do. It's alright. Okay. Pendejo. No, I'm just kidding. It actually goes in pretty darn good. It's good enough. Don't worry about if these things aren't straight or anything like that, you know what I mean? You drive yourself nuts trying to get this thing perfect. Or if you see any mistakes I make, fix it on yours. But I think it's looking pretty lasted good. Heck, I could have gone shorter on that wire. See, I want to get it up a little bit in there, a little more up. But it's just going to be where it is. That's fine. It's good. It's soldered in. It fits in nice. Case is going together well. So I'm not going to worry about it. That's my biggest psychological problem, is that I obsess about this stuff to the point of where it drive you nuts. Okay, so then this guy goes in. This is the Nextion screen holder. Yeah, see that? Fits in real nice. And it essentially levels out the playing field right here, so that the next one that goes on that actually sits up above the height of the Nextion. These little guys now go in there. All right, that is sweet. Okay guys, we've got this thing assembled. Now what we're gonna do is put the software together for it. So I will show you that on the computer. Thanks for hanging in there with me. And I will have a link to all of the products in the description. All right, it's time to put the Pi-Star operating system on our micro SD card. We're going to use the same card that we used to put the image on our Nextion screen. And we're going to have to format that card again, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so here's the card. It's got the image there for our Nextion. We're just going to completely format this card again at FAT32. Go ahead and start it. It's going to erase everything that's on the card and start it up from scratch. And now we need to download Pi-Star. So we'll go back to Pi-Star. Downloads. And we want this bottom one, Pi-Star RPI version 4.1.2. But again, I placed it in my ham radio folder, operating system, in order to do that. So we need an imaging software. So Win32 disk, we're going to download that. Disk imager. It's a free download. You just go right in there and it starts to download for you. Cool. .exe. And once that downloads, you run the install on it. It'll give you this icon for the imager. Open up the imager. Going to load our image file into the software. So we're going to browse here. Mine's in my documents. Ham radio, Pi-Star, and this is this image. Double click. Okay. So now that we've got that there, we want to write it to the disk. We're going to write We're writing the Pi-Star image to our micro SD card. All right, write successful. All right. Exit the software here. Close out here. Now, I'm going to pull the disk out of the computer. And we're going to insert it into our hotspot. Here we go. That's the other. That was bad, the bump one. Now, I'm going to insert this into here. Bang, now we have an operating system on our Pi-Star. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and boot up the Pi-Star. We're going to boot up our hotspot, I should say. Okay, there we go. Now, when these things boot up, they default into a standalone node that you can connect your computer to. So once this thing boots up, it takes about 20 seconds.
it'll start broadcasting an internet signal, and on your on the computer, you'll search out for Pi-Star, and you'll connect to the Pi-Star that way. So now that we're booting this thing up, let me go ahead and head over to the computer, and we'll go ahead and link up to it on the computer. So this just sits here and hangs out.
All right. We've got the memory card in the hotspot. The hotspot's booted up. And now we're going to configure Pi-Star. So if you go down into your Wi-Fi, you'll find your Pi-Star setup in there, and you're going to connect your computer directly to the hotspot. And connect directly to Pi-Star. Okay, come on. Okay, there it goes. No mode defined, so I'm going to go into hit configuration. Sorry, we'll go back there. Configuration, right here. Let's just make this big. And now we have our interface here with Pi-Star. You guys may already know how to do this, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you. We've got an MMDVM hotspot. It's a duplex repeater. Pi-Star, we're going to leave this the same. Put your call sign in here. I'm KJ7RFF. Oh, look at this. Flag changes first. Come on, bud. Bounce back. If it doesn't automatically take you here, it's Pi-Star /admin, and it'll take you back into the Pi-Star configuration. Let's try that again. Duplex repeater. Okay, that time it did. We'll change our configuration here. All right. Now that it has, now that we've told it it's a duplex repeater, it's kicking back in with our MMDVM host configuration. We're going to turn on DMR mode. We're going to select Nextion screen. It's on the modem. And we want the ON7LDS. And we're going to apply changes. Now, it's giving us a few more fields down here. So again, we put your call sign in. I'll go ahead and put my name there. So this is, we're going to input your DMR ID in this field here. 317-1659. Now, you're going to put your transmit frequencies and the receive frequencies in here. My radio listens at 432.000.000, and it transmits 5 megahertz 437.000.000. 000. Now you might not want to use a frequency that close to the our cutoff, which is 430. But these DMR radios transmitted pretty narrow band, so I don't think I'm going to be too far off. I think I'm going to be all right with 432. I've been using it and haven't had any problems, so it's a little tight. Now here's you put in your longitude and your latitude, and we won't bother with that. You can look it up. You can look your longitude and latitude up online and type and put that in there if you'd like to. Town. I like to put this display on your Pi Star, on your hotspot on the screen. If you put this information in, if you don't, it won't display anything there. So I'm going to put Carson City, Nevada, country USA. URL .qrz/db/kj7rff. We're going to go private on the APRS host. Maybe find something close to you. I think the closest one to me is the Oregon APRS. Your time zone. I'm on the West Coast, so I would look for HHAKL for Los Angeles. And then we're English US. We're going to apply changes to this set of forgot one thing. We want to tell it what type of radio modem we're using. We are using an MMDVM, where are you at? An STM32 DVM MMDVM HS Raspberry Pi Hat GPIO. That's what we want to use. Now we're going to apply it again. Okay. Look, it didn't stick. Let's do that again. Sometimes these settings don't stick. Apply changes. You know what? These are backwards. It's always backwards. Whatever, this is the frequency the repeater will transmit on, and we're listening on 432. And we're transmitting on 437. Because usually you always transmit, it's usually +5 on UHF repeaters, 70 centimeters. All right. Now, and set your DMR master here, which is to say we are US master United States on 3103. Now, this security code has to be inputted in, but this is your private security code that you'll set up through Brandmeister. You need to get an account through Brandmeister and set up your security code, because without it you won't be able to send and receive. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank so that nobody sees what my security code is. My color code, you can set this to what your local color codes are. We're always 1 here, so I'm setting mine to 1. Leave this off and leave that on, and apply your changes. Okay. Now, mobile GPS configuration, don't do anything here. Just leave this defaults. Firewall configuration, leave it all default. And then now we're going to go ahead and connect this thing to the internet. Configure Wi-Fi, scan for networks. Connect to Skynet. Select your network, obviously. Put your network key in here. Oh, you know what? I'll set this to US. Okay, save and connect. And let's see if we can connect to that then. Takes it a few seconds. There we go. Now, that's our username and password. The username is Pi-star. Password is Raspberry, R-A-S-P-B-E-R-R-Y. Now we go back to the configuration. Got the Raspberry hat there. Okay. And the interface is up, connected to Skynet. Now this is the tricky stuff here. In order to set up our drivers, we're going to go to Expert, SSH Access, and log in with our username and password, Pi-star Raspberry, R-A-S-P-B-E-R-R-Y. Gets us into the configuration. Now, in order to download the drivers for the Nextion screen, we got to do two things. We got to flash the hat, and we've got to download the Nextion drivers. Now, if you look here, we're missing a couple of pieces of information: the CPU cycles, the CPU load, and the free disk space. Those are not standard fields for Pi-star, because what we've done is we have pointed Pi-star to the Nextion, and we pointed it to the drivers. But what we need to do first is type in download the ON7LDS driver. And that's this one right here. And this gives us the code we need to actually do it. So this is the sequence for downloading the driver. And sometimes it messes up, so we're going to see what happens. And if it does mess up, I'll show you what to do to fix it. So over here, we're going to type cd temp. cd space / tmp. Okay, puts us into the temp directory. Now we're going to type git clone https://github.com/on7lds 7LDS / Nextion driver installer .get. Enter. Phoning into the Nextion driver installers, unpacking it. Okay, so it's unpacked the contents into the temporary directory. Now we're going to type sudo Nextion driver installer / install sh. Sudo space Nextion driver installer / install .sh. Install yes. Running into the driver. No drivers found. Trying to install one. This is where sometimes it'll mess up. Looks like it might be doing it this time here. Okay, well works. Okay, session closed. Reboot the hotspot. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to reboot the hotspot. Unplug it. Wait about 30 seconds for everything to just reset itself. And we're going to see if it worked. The trick is sometimes if it doesn't work, and you go back to try to reinstall it, it'll come down about halfway, and it'll say, and you'll have to scroll back up, because you'll come back up here, and it'll say, the driver is already installed, would you like to reinstall it? Yes, no, and then it instantaneously jumps to the next line. It says, you have version 1.9, the current version is 1.9, no need to reinstall. But the thing is, when it asked you to, if you wanted to reinstall it, it didn't give you any time to say yes. It just moved on to the next thing. And it took me a long time to realize that I needed, that once I said up here, the first thing it says, continue installing, yes or no. You put yes, start hitting the Y key and just hit yes, 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 because if yours errors and you're not getting, it doesn't work, when it comes to the line where yes or no, you're going to catch it before it gets to the next line, and then it's going to reinstall everything. So let's go ahead and I'm going to refresh that. It's probably going to tell me that it's not plugged in because it's not. We're plugging it in right now. Plug it all in. Back to it. Close back out. Reopen your driver, your window. Just go ahead and go here. Let's wait until the driver boots up. And let's see what this thing did. This is a brand new install, so it may error out or it may work. Aha, so see it didn't, oh yeah, it did work this time. So this thing's now populated the fields that we want, so we won't have to go back in and do that yes, yes, yes thing. But if that happens to you, scroll back up. If it's telling you that the driver's already there, would you like to reinstall? Yes, no, and it jumps to the next line, it tells you no need to reinstall. That's where you start hitting that yes, yes, yes key. So that's been done. The next thing we want to do is we want to flash the hat. We might not even have to because it looks like everything's up and running. But there is there's a protocol for flashing the hat. And we go ahead and flash the hat right now. So we're going to go to configuration. We're going to go expert, just show you how to flash the hat. SSH access, pi star, raspberry, CD10. Backslash TMP in the temp directory. So we'll go back to the RW directory. CD/RW. Let's just see what happens. Sudo. Type it right here. So sudo pi star. -MMDVM HS hat flash HS _ dual _ hat. Enter. It's just basically cleans it up, refreshes it back to a brand new condition. And that's it. Okay.
Sitting here online, I can't. All right, let's give this bad boy a hard reset. We flash the hat, we're gonna reboot the system. All right, let's plug it back in. The configuration. All right, well, what would a video like this be without a good test? So, off camera, I put in my, let's see, hotspot password. And so I should be able to send and receive here. Let's go ahead and just send a test out to Parrot, and then we'll send one out to AmericaLink if if they're not squawking like crazy on AmericaLink. KJ7RFF testing a brand new hotspot on Parrot group.
KJ7RFF testing a brand new hotspot on Parrot group.
Very good, very good. Okay, so that worked. Let's try sending one out to AmericaLink. Let's just see if there's any traffic on AmericaLink. We'll just key up.
This is KJ7TMG. Yeah, so I'm picking it up here in the Atlanta area, ham radio outlet. They had nearly everything in stock. The only thing I need to find on it is so I'll plug into the wall 110 volt AC to DC converter, so I can basically invert that.
Well, it sounds like we're getting a signal here.
Get straight in to get that 13.8 volts to be able to project
Coming in pretty good.
I can do that right now with a battery setup that
Let's try HXO. That one I believe is on time slot 2. There we go. KJ7RFF testing on HXO. Is anybody copying me? Testing a brand new hotspot here. No, maybe not.
You today. Thanks for listening. Just so excited as you can tell about
Looks like we missed some in HXO time though. Who was that? K7VGX. K7VGX, sorry about that. I missed your last transmission. Can you come back again?
K7MARC K7VGX, I copy over.
Hey, thanks for coming back to me. I'm testing a brand new hotspot that I put together over the last couple of days, and I'm doing a video of the C4 Labs Nextion 3.5-inch case that comes with the screen, and I basically did a build video on it because the first time I built one, it was very hard. So this is our first test transmission. I got you on the air here, so if it's okay, I'll put you in the video. Would that be all right?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. This is Bob, K7VGX, but you're 100% and the audio is perfect. Over.
Well, Bob, you got Bob in Carson City, Nevada, and I appreciate your signal report and appreciate you coming back to me. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. This was the final touch, the grand finale, getting online. So it looks like everything worked out, and I'll jump on. I'll jump on your QRZ. Do you have a QRZ page?
Yes, I do, and everything is up to date, and I feel honored that you got me there. Okay, very good. Good luck on that K7VGX.
Hey, thanks again, and 73 to you. This is KJ7RFF signing off. Well, it looks like we did it. So go ahead and wrap up this video. I'll put all the links to all the equipment, all the products that are in this particular hotspot in the beginning of the video. I think I'll put it in there, and then also in the credits underneath here. But good luck to everybody who's trying to build one of these. I hope this video helps out, and I look forward to posting it on my QRZ and also posting it on the Nextion forum and Facebook. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Have a fantastic afternoon.